Oh, no problem. Yeah, if you gotta go, like this is cool. This is a safe space, so it's totally cool if you gotta bounce. Um, Gosh, happy Friday, y'all! It's September 2nd. Can you believe it? It's super cool. Um, but what we're gonna be doing today, and if you go over and slide over in the third tab of your growth group, the agenda, we can look at what we're gonna be doing today. Now, today is a 60-minute growth group where I want to just demonstrate like setting up reminders. I want to show you how to set yourself up for success and planning out the whole like month and kind of how I like to do it. And also just there's so many different ways that you can use the plan tool inside of Growth Day. So there's really just no wrong way to do it. The wrong way to do it would be not to make a plan, to not be setting yourself up for success and to not be taking action. So we're going to do a little bit of all that today. So let's kind of kick this off. So the first thing that I did, actually, if you were kind of in the community, and I typically, when I create a new growth group, I post it inside of the community so more people can see it and so you can be exposed to it. So I don't know how you found this link, or if you're just like, I want to elevate my plans in Growth Day, so I'm going to go see what this is going to be all about. I'd love to hear actually in the chat why you signed up and why you RSVP'd to this chat, just so we understand. And you can also, from a social learning perspective, let your crew know, like, why did you join this growth group today? Like, what is it about the plans or planning and the challenges of plan that made you want to join the growth group today? Because this will help us know what we can talk about too for the whole entire session. So what are some things that you want to do with the plan tool inside of Growth Day? What are some things that are going to help you be a better planner, a better striver, and then also to set yourself up? I mean, also it's school season too. So if you have kids, school's in session next week. Kids are going back to school, so there's a lot more things that we have to manage, that we have to be responsible for. And like you, I know I'm head of product and head of design here at Growth Day, so we have a plethora of new tools, resources, and things that we're building, features and things that we're building to really help elevate your experience here in the product. So managing all that, I got to have a plan for it. Managing what I'm going to be doing with my kiddo for school and setting him up for success with soccer and everything else that's going on, got to have a plan for it. How I want to interact with my team on a weekly basis with all their new things and requirements and product needs coming, got to have a plan for it. So that's where I kind of like thinking about the planning is kind of that gateway to having a map. And you know, Brennan mentions it all the time. You don't want to go into a forest without a map, because you probably don't know how you're going to get out of it. So some really fun stuff there. So I'm going to read through the chat real quick, and let's just see here. Oh, okay. So maybe you don't utilize the, like Cheryl said, maybe she doesn't utilize the plan tool as much. I really don't know how to use the plan to set deadlines. Okay, we'll do that today. I don't understand how to use. Okay, we're going to talk about the plan tool. We're going to get after that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab. And if you want to follow along with me, I'd encourage you to do so. So open up a new tab, Command N if you're on a Mac, or Control N if you're on a PC. Open up a new tab. So it'll kind of be like a split screen, where one side of your screen will be growth groups and the other side will be your other tab of Growth Day. All right, so I'll give you a second to do that. All right. And the first thing that I'm going to kind of get you going on, I'm going to share my screen. And it's going to it might come in a little small at first, but you know, the idea is like you can have a general idea of what we're doing in there, but the best thing that you could do is just to follow along and get in there for yourself. Like get in there and let me see if I can make this bigger. All right. Cool. All right. Very nice. All right, so I have my notes open, and I just actually went over this because I had started, and as you know, if you're doing a growth group and you put any single notes inside of your the second tab inside the tool, all of your notes are going to show up in your notes in the browser navigation. So if you go to notes up in the top and you click over into the growth group, you'll see all the notes that you wrote for this session if you have any notes so far. So I'm going to do Command plus, try to make this bigger. Oh, I don't like how that's looking. I'm just going to keep it like this. So I know it's small, y'all. So what I'll do is I'll just end up pasting things inside the chat, and then we can keep this party going. All right. Cool. All right, so first things that we're going to do, and I'm going to actually open up one whole other tab. Close my tab windows. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to open up your plan. And the plan is also number 4 on their keyboard. So if you are on your desktop and you hit number 4 on your keyboard, it's like a keyboard shortcut. So I don't know if any of you geek out about keyboard shortcuts, but I absolutely do, because it's an efficiency thing. It helps you move a little bit faster, and number 4 on your keyboard is going to help you do that. So the first thing to know about plans can be anything. Plans can be they can be rituals that you create. They can be the habits that you want to form. They can be a list of things that you want to do from, if you have 20 things that you need to do around a specific topic, you could have that specific topic be your plan, and then you could have 20 items listed out. It's totally fine. There's no wrong way to do it. But what you do need to do and step back is to set a whole nother level of intention before you even create the plan. You need to think about, like, okay, what is this plan gonna be about? And yes, you can do it on mobile. It's just completely wherever you want to be creating, it's completely fine. Like, the mobile app is a seamless experience from mobile and web. So whatever you create in web, once you refresh your mobile app, you'll see everything that you had in the mobile. But doing it at the same time, you might have to leave the page and come back, but those are all little details. So the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to go to Create Plan, and I'm going to call this September. And let's just say I'm just going to do September, March. I want to march to it, or maybe not. Maybe it's just I'll actually put a little symbol here. If you don't know how to do the little symbols, you can do Command, Control, Spacebar, and it will give you all the little icons and things if you do like to use these sorts of things. And I'm going to do a little seed. Let somebody in. All right, so everybody there? Everybody's thinking about a plan that they want to create right now. Time to go to the plan, and we're going to create one. So if you're ready. Okay, ordering your plans. Maria, there is a way to order your plans. I'll show you in a second. So we'll go through all of these things today. So no rush, no stress. Just going to knock this thing out and build an epic plan. So we're going to create the plan. Now, obviously, I just created this plan, and I want to orient you right now. So just like Maria had asked, can I organize my plans? You can drag up and down your task, your subtask, and your actual plan. So if I wanted to move this up or down, I could just click and drag it. And if you see it, there's a little grab handle on the cursor of your mouse, and that allows you to move these things up or down. So Maria, let me know if you saw that. It's because I know you had a question about being able to order the plans. So let me know if that answered your question. Yeah, so the symbols on PC, Kelly, for that specific, I don't know what it is for PC, but I know on Mac it's Control Command Spacebar, and that gives you this picker. But we could Google that and probably figure it out at some point. Oh, so for phone, you would just probably need to click and press. Here, I'll just open my phone up and do it really quick too to show you, or to just mirror that. So if I go to September, oh yeah, on phone, if you're on an iPhone, in the very bottom left, if you have your icons or your little smiley face, you could just tap on that. You could just tap on that smiley face and then be able to add any icon that you want. So it's there. All right, cool. So we're caught up. All right, fantastic. So we got a plan. But what do we start doing in this plan? So what I want to do is draw your attention to, and I'll paste it in the chat, are these 4 things. We have, let's see here. For week, so obviously there's 4, I mean, when we do planning, when I do planning for the month, I'm thinking about blocks. I'm thinking about, okay, well, we got 4 weeks in a month, right? I think every month pretty much has 4 weeks. And then I think about, well, okay, I could just create a simple plan for the month of September and say like, oh, I want to do these 3 things. But that's not going to really move the needle for me. Like, I want to think about, how am I going to make September the absolute best month ever? Like, what is that going to take? Well, it's going to take a high level of intention. So for me, the first things that I want to think about, and I can start taking some notes up in the top area. These are like kind of like a little note area just to get you started in thinking through. And I'm going to paste all this right now inside the chat. So the first thing that I like to think about, okay, I have things right now, and I'm sure that some of you do too, like of new starts. When I say new starts, I'm thinking about new things that are happening right now in September that you got to prepare for, that you got to get ready. Oh, thanks, Kelly, for doing that. That you got to get ready for, that you got to get excited for. Like, what are some new starts that you currently have to get ready for in the month of September? And you could paste them inside your chat right now and just think about, what are some new starts that you're getting ready to go into? The new starts are important because when a new start to something, you got to think about like, well, how do I maybe want to show up during this new start? What do I need to prepare for this new start? What are some things that would be success for this new start? What are some things that might cause some failure for this new start? Like, you can start thinking about what is needed for this, because this is going to help inform what you put into your plan, right? So it's just like thinking through, okay, well, for me, I put down that I have an Agile Learning Center and soccer. I put those 2 things because those are the 2 big new starts for my son, and I want to make sure that I'm helping him prepare for this new learning center, that school that he's going to, and also for his soccer that's going on every just two practices in a game a week, and I want to make sure that he's prepared for that. Okay, so I'm going to think about all the things that he's going to need before practice starts, all the things he's going to need for his jerseys and equipment, all the things of making sure that I'm not rushed when I go to practice, and I can leave a little bit early and make sure I'm going to have to schedule my meetings a little differently for work to make sure that I can prepare and not be rushed, because I don't like being rushed. I don't think anybody really likes being rushed. It's not fun. I like calm, cool, collected. Like, let's have a really fun night of soccer, or a really fun time at school. Like how we plan for it and how we set and get our mind right before we do those things is going to be really critical. Awesome. All right, so that's step 1, right? New starts. The second thing I want you to think about, and these are also kind of like reflections and prompts, right? Continue. What are the things I need to continue, like getting really dialed in for this next upcoming month? And what could those things be like? Well, I have meals and activities were the first 2 things that I put. And there's obviously like other things, like I have team meetings, rituals for my team, a lot of other things that I do at work, but I'll just keep this kind of more open-ended for life in general. The meal preparation and activities, right? If you have kids, or even if you don't have kids, and you still got to think about food, right? We got our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, how many of you all are cooking all of your meals right now, or like, are you door dashing and all that other stuff? Even if you're door dashing and even if you're planning your meals, you still got to make sure you have the groceries. You have to know what you're going to be cooking during, Monday through Friday, and then maybe on the weekend you're, going out to dinner or whatever. That takes mental energy to prepare, to think about what you need to do. So how might we make that a little bit more effective and efficient? Well, that could be something that goes into our plan, right? Okay, our meal preparation. Big time. All right, cool. So just getting the wheels turning, right? So this is all about intention setting before we jump into actually creating the plan, because it's going to make our plan a little bit better. Now what we get to do is think about, okay, well, what are some of the things that we want to elevate this month, right? What can we elevate together? Well, I want to elevate my relationships. I'm going to be meeting new people this month. I'm going to be preparing for a workshop I'm doing in Utah, like in November. So I'm preparing those relationships and the things that I'm going to be doing when I go to that workshop. I'm thinking about the collaborations that I want to have with my team and the rocks that I'm trying to finish and move forward. When I say rocks, it's literally like big giant projects that I need to move forward this month. What are those things, and how can I be prepared and set myself up so that my rituals and my routines and my habits are congruent with what I actually need to do to make this month amazing. So I'm thinking about those things. Okay, so think about what things you could be elevating and write them down. Write them in your plan or journal about them. But like new starts, continue, elevate. Okay, the next thing. Oh, that's a great idea, Lisa. Lisa said she started using a meal cooking delivery service, cut down mental thought processing big time. Absolutely. Great suggestion. Like sometimes those little things, even just doing it once or twice a week, it might cost you a little bit more up front to set those things up. But the hour or 2 hour, 3 hour, even 5 hours that you get back from that time that you can spend with the family and do the things that, really lift you up, sometimes it's worth it. So you get to, manage those things. And I think it's just good to be aware of it so you know how you could kind of mix it up or change it up a little bit for you and your family. All right. The fourth thing, execute. So this month, what are some things that you need to execute? Not just elevate, but you need to execute this month. For me, there's 3 big things that need to happen. I'm building a playbook, like an actual UX playbook for designers and product makers and creators. I want to have that finished this month so I can print it, give it to people, ship it. The second thing is hiring. We're trying to hire a couple really important roles here at Growth Day, and I'm really trying to get that dialed in and finished this month so that we can move into the fall season really focused and dedicated on onboarding those people and helping move the team forward. And that goes into the advancements. So for me, I got to think about what are the things that I want to advance this month that are 4 to 5 things that are going to actually be game changers for me. All right. So you got the mindset, you're there, you're ready. Now what we get to do is we get to take this and start building out our plan. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the first thing that you could do, I could take this approach where I go into week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. This is one way to do it. And then I could go in and think about across week 1, and this is this is going to be, well, actually, yeah, I mean, we could even just count the days. September 1, September 3rd, 4th, maybe it's that first week. I'd have to have a calendar in front of me, but going through and be well, what do I want to accomplish this first week? I could set my due date to, let me just say the 9th, and I can see that. So I see set due date at the top, and then I can hit save, and that's going to set my due date for this. Now, during this week, I want to set a custom reminder every day at 9 a.m. And what I'm going to get is a notification, in-app notification about week 1 during this time, so September 2nd to the 9th. So that whatever I put in this list, I'm going to get a notification for it, and I'm going to be able to kind of remind myself of these themes, these the new starts that I'm having, the continue things, the elevate, the execute. And of course, you don't have to use that framework. You could use anything that you want, and I'll show you some other examples throughout this growth group so you can see other examples of plans. But that's the power of we wanted to make this super agnostic for you so that you could use it in the way that basically meets you where you're at, but also gives you that full flexibility to do exactly whatever you want in here. So it's helpful. All right. Great. Now, if you have questions, please keep putting them in the chat, and everybody that's in here can also be able to help you get some answers here. But okay, let's do this. So subtasks. So we have task and we have subtask. So if I was to say action 1, this would be a subtask. So if I come back over here, I can see I have week 1, and I can see this little number 1 right here. And if I click that, then it's going to open up the sidebar so I can add more details. And I can give even my subtask a plan. So if I wanted to complete action number 1 by Tuesday, then I would be able I'd be in business. So let's just do this for a second. So for my first week one, and I'll just kind of talk you through this a little bit, but obviously, like, do yours as we go here through this too. I'm going to be teaching a course at my son's school, and it's going to be around product and design. So I'm like a volunteer lecturer, or, I don't know what you would want to call it, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help out for other of the students that want to get practice and then get educated about product and design. I'm going to do it every week. So what do I need to do to prepare for that? Well, I probably need a series of resources and setup. So I need to prepare resources and material to workshop. And that is going to be like a line item for me, right? I have another thing where when it comes to, if I come back, I had soccer. So the soccer is, I need to print out, schedule, and put in-house where everybody can see. So I have a printer behind me, so what I can do before next week, I can go and print that schedule out and put it in the house so that we know what's going to be happening, what we're going to do. To that point, I could also plan out Monday through Friday food. And I like this intention of this because I like to cook, and I'm definitely going to need at least like 2-3 days where I can cook some pretty good food and have it last a couple days. So plan out Monday through Friday food. And obviously, to get food, you got to go to the grocery, right? So what days do I want to go to the grocery run? So if I know that Tuesdays and Thursdays are big product day, or big like product advancement days for me, I might want to do grocery run on Sunday run to grocery. So you want to start thinking about all the little things that you might want to do, and then I might even put like this on the 4th. I'm going to go and do a grocery run, and I'm just going to get reminded about that one day before. So on Saturday, it's going to remind me about that notification. So now I'm already getting my wheels turning about how I can get myself going. But okay, well, that's just like new starts and the things I need to continue. But I also need some fun activities. And I know that there's some cool putt-putt and some other activities. But I definitely want to get my family out on a hike this week because, when you're in school for our first week and you're like maybe indoors, or if, it was pretty rainy here in North Carolina the last couple weeks, like, it'd be great to get on a hike, and there's a lot of waterfalls here, so maybe we could go do some waterfall hike. So a waterfall hike, and and then I got to think about what day that might be. So already we're getting so much more intentional about what we could be doing, and I know it might be a little blurry on the screen, but so far what we've done is we've created we have 5 or 6 sub actions. We're preparing resources for the material for the workshop I'm going to be giving. We're printing out schedules and putting them in a house so people can see. We're planning out the Monday through Friday food meal plan. So that might be like, that could even be another plan of things where we like to use like the online ordering, so we know exactly what we're getting for food intake, so that we can budget, but we can also know just what food we're buying. Getting the Brussels sprouts and getting the all the things that we love to roast in the oven, like getting those things in there, because that's going to help us feel energized and fueled through the week. So we're already doing those preparation. And I like to have these themes like we're having, like execute, elevate, continue, new starts, because it's getting us thinking outside the box. We just don't want to think about like, oh, my week one, I have a plan. And then these are the 2 things that I'm going to do. Like you can just by writing these things out, you can get a lot more prepared and ready to crush it, versus just kind of like, just having a plan that gives you what you need but doesn't actually make you better and doesn't advance you at all. So I just like being pushed a little bit, and this is just one way to do it, but you don't have to do it this way. You can do it any way you want. All right, so we have week 1. Makes sense, everybody? Let me come back to the chat. All right. I'm just seeing awesome. Okay, cool. Y'all, if you're enjoying this so far, we're about halfway through it, but hey, we're planning. This is so cool. This is so good. All right, so week 2, week 2, we're kind of like in the groove, right? We already are coming through. So for this one, it might be, and I didn't put anything for my work. So here, let me go back to this. I'll show you. Oops. Week 2, week 1. And I'm going to put something in about things that I can do regarding hiring is I can be crystal clear on the role's goals, objectives, and team needs. And what I will do is, because I've already kind of created a 90-day plan for anybody that joins in this role, is I can start creating that plan and getting that ready and putting that in some like a more formal location. But we typically want to hire the person first. But that's going to be so much fun. That's going to be somebody that's going to be in this community and helping y'all too. So we will have a way to execute, and we're doing hiring advancement. So the other thing that I need to do with the UX playbook was I needed to print. I need to print this thing. Print, and then I need to ship it. Print and ship to Utah. And if I don't get it done on the week 1, I can push it off to the week 2. It's totally fine. And then I can go through and do the same thing for each of these weeks. So like, okay, well, week 2 is we're dealing with the 12th through the 16th. So it's going to be due on the 16th. I could put that due date. And now I can start thinking about, okay, well, in week 2, I can take a lot of the things that worked well in week 1. I can observe, and I can use my weekly reflections in my journal to be able to be like, how did this week go? Like with our weekly summaries. So even if I go over to my journal, and which is 2 on your keyboard, and I go to my weekly review, at the end of those weeks, I can capture how well my plan served me for that week. And then I can give my feedback to myself. I can do a life score about how I performed and what I did. And then I can come back to my plan and schedule a better week 2 with, the things that I want to be able to do. And this is just one way to do it. You can also, if you have a bigger like project and this is just for one thing and not just September, then we can do something what we call backwards planning. So if you haven't heard of backwards planning, it's literally starting with the goal and the outcome in mind and writing out that outcome and goal in mind and thinking about what it would feel like and what it would look like and what it would even taste like. You have that and you write it out, and then what you do is you think about the very first step that you're going to need to take. The first step. It could be the race to the draft. It could be the race to your first version of a document. It could be like if you're writing a book, it could be the first chapter. It could be the first page. It could be the first sentence. Like just getting started, and then you fill in the gaps. And with backwards planning, you can actually okay, well, I know how far I need to go, and then you can start closing that gap every day, every week, every month. And that's a ton of fun to do. Oh, so there was a question about my weeks, my actions. Really, there in this example, you can do it that way, Kelly, but you don't have to. I'm just giving you an example of how you can set this up and structure this. If you're trying to get ready for September, or trying to get ready for the whatever it is that you're trying to create a plan for. These are just different ways that you can break it out, because there's other ways, like in this daily planner, I use this daily planner as a way to just calibrate what are my daily habits. What's the daily routine that I need to do? I always know what my top 3 priorities are for the day. I always know the people that I need to reach out to connect with, or I also know that I can go and just prepare my mind a little bit better by setting my mindset, how I want to win the day, and I can also just understand what I'm grateful for, and the fitness that I want to do. I know working out, getting my routines in. This is just table stakes for me. But then I have all these other things. So I was telling you earlier that in my September plan, I have something around the Agile Learning Center. That's what I'm doing to help my son. So I actually have a plan already where I'm talking about the contribution that I'm going to be giving to this community, where I'm going to be giving scholarships to my programs that I have. I'm going to be giving them access to the training that I have. And I'm going to be kind of modeling the GrowthDay product and experience too, so that I can help the kids, feel encouraged, give them the empathy they need, get them motivated if it's anything. Like when I'm there, that's how I'm going to show up. And they won't see me all day. I'm not a full-time teacher. I'm full-time head of product and design and parent and dad, husband. But I still want to like start thinking about, how am I going to advance Zigzag? How am I going to contribute to the school? And those are things that are really important. I also have started capturing, like in North Carolina, like all the things that I want to explore, navigate, and do, because we are new to the area. So learning about the rivers, learning about how to build better systems here, like looking at how I elevate even the grocery delivery systems here in the community, because when I was in the Bay Area, it was so tightly integrated into making sure that the accessibility was so well done. That's something I need to explore here in North Carolina and see how I can improve it. And the same thing for like adventure here. There's so much adventure, but also how can I make sure that I'm delivering adventure moments to my family and friends that I meet here. So these are other ways that you can start thinking about your plans. Same thing for like, even for talks. I have a talk lineup where all the topics and things that I like to talk about and teach and train on. There's ways to have plans for that. You can even have, like, I have a gear setup where it's all the things that I have in my repertoire for the gear that I use in my studio. And then, like, even I have like Monday motivation, Tuesday, Friday upcoming week. Like, I have these sorts of things that I do on these days that I put into my plan. That way, when that day comes, I just come to this plan the day of and I click it and I look at the things that I know, oh yeah, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. That's how I maintain the systems in my life. And it's just a way to stay focused and get clarity. And then over time, these things become more muscle memory. They become more natural, and then you can start doing them more and more and more. Okay, any questions so far? I know I've dropped a lot on you, but please put them in the chat. And we can keep the party going. We have 25 minutes left. Or we can actually bring people up. If you do want to raise your hand, we can do some questions about plans. And maybe some of your other peers might also have similar questions. And if not, we can kind of keep going to the next phase of this growth group. So let me know in the chat. Let me know. How's everybody's Friday going? Good? Okay. Awesome. It's great. Sweet. That's great. Oh, man. Everybody's good. Super good. All right, cool. Love that. So we talked about, the themes. We talked about the different ways you could do weeks, you could do days. There's even things in the back where, like, I'd even put like my life goals. I put like last year I've had like end of the year goals. So, when you go into, like, you could go into a weekly live session, like one of our past replays, and you can open up your plan while you're listening to a course. So let me just show you that really quick, because y'all might not know this is even possible. So let's just say, let me go to For You and go to some of the courses. All right, let's see. Okay, Reignite Your Life with Brendan. So I'm going to go into this course and I'm going to play this. I'm going to unmute, like, it might be kind of loud here. Let's see.
Is there one relationship that just deserves a little bit?
All right. So Brennan's here talking about
relationships.
Strength and giving yourself credit.
Is there one relationship
I could go to my plan
that just deserves a little bit more charge from you in life?
And this video is still going to be playing down here, right?
What could you do?
Third big area.
And I could come in and create a plan.
Could you do?
And it's called Finding Strength.
Third big area to allow some ambition back in is your contributions in life. What you're giving. So if you're at your work and they passed you up for a promotion last year and now you just don't believe it's ever possible that you're going to earn more or achieve more at
about
work,
your feelings,
you can't give
ambition for your relationships.
Third big area to allow some ambition back in is your contributions in life. What you're giving. So if you're at your work and they passed you up for a promotion last year and now you just don't believe it's ever possible that you're going to earn more or achieve more.
And I could basically be taking notes and thinking about, okay, well, for me, in my action plan this week, and this could be something that you just, it could be like something you set a reminder on weekly. On a weekly basis, I want to be able to go and see how I can find another level of strength inside this product. And every single Monday, I want to get reminded of this at 3 p.m. Or I like earlier. I'm going to go earlier because I want to get reminded about this like before I go into my day. So before my day even starts, I'm going to get reminded about finding strength. I'm going to learn about my feelings, my thinking about my ambition for my relationships. And then, and I can come in and do my other training.
I've never been to a writer's workshop. I can't write a book, and I probably told myself that story for 3 years and see it.
Start seeing
if you want to make something ignite in your life again, start seeing the things that you want to give.
And I can use my plan as a note and a reminder for me to go back in and to really get the most out of this. And I could also still just go back to this course and take notes and get the same sort of effect and be able to see that in my notes panel in the page. So then if I start taking never stop seeing your dreams.
Something ignite in your life again.
Oh, my keyboard.
If you want to make
never stop
something ignite in your life again, start seeing.
And if I hit save, right, that comes in at that 10-minute marker. So now I can always go back to this course or go back to it from my notes panel. And now I have a really integrated learning environment where I'm like, all right, I'm remembering, I'm getting that encouragement. I know what's going on. And I could keep watching this course as
it will fill your heart up with ambition. It will give you that motivation.
Let me just see. So, yeah, absolutely. So there's a question is like, do I use my daily planner to keep track of my daily habits? Absolutely. Because like for me, a plan is not just a list of to-dos. It's a list of behavior. It's a list of like intention. It's a list of the things that I'm going to have a self-rule for myself to really pursue and do it and hold myself accountable. And I think that's the big difference of like, there's all sorts of planning tools out there. There's like, you got Trello, you have Jira, you have, the to-do list, you have like Notion. There's so many products, and Evernote. There's so many products that give you a list of things to do. But for me, it's not helpful for me to just have a list of things that I have like somewhere else in the ethos in my technology tools, my bank of technology tools. The reason why I use GrowthDay for my notes or for my plan, like my plans and those things, is because of the intention behind it. Because when I'm here, I have a really dedicated, focused area where I'm going to be my best self, and I'm going to practice learning and growing and building that into my DNA. And that for me is how I actually like have been advancing my growth and learning. And before I would just put all this inside of my notes, or I'd design something in Figma where I would have all my management in there, or in Google Docs. And all this stuff's so personal, and if it's somewhere else like and not organized with the intentions that I need, that's where the learning opportunities kind of slow down. And I'm in the business of productivity and growth and wellness, and I don't want to take years to advance these things. I want to practice them every week, get good at them, get great at them, master them, and then just have a lot of fun in life. Like have a lot of fun building products and services, have a lot of fun meeting all of you, having a lot of fun just having incredible experiences across life. So this for me is like the place where I get to do that. I get to put all that intention in one place. And yes, you can continue learning. Thanks, Brita. You can continue learning while you are setting reminders, triggers, and you can continue that learning. And we are working on a upgraded video player, and we're working so hard. The team is working so hard on this. that will be more of a native, like a really good, rich native experience. So no matter when you jump from page to page, it will be a seamless experience. It will improve the video player since we originally launched it. So just wanted to share that with you. So Cheryl had a question. I get how you set up due dates for each thing. Are you setting due dates for the plan as a whole, then the task, and then the subtask? It's completely up to you. I think you only should set reminders for the things that you really want reminded, because if you set reminders for everything, it would probably be like context overload. So set reminders on the visual cues and prompts that you want to get reminded of every morning, every night, or whenever you set it, because it's really going to be unique to you and special for you if you set it, and that you set it to a time in a time that means something to you. The mornings are kind of like this magical moment. I don't schedule meetings in the morning. I have like basically from the moment I wake up to almost 11:30, 12 o'clock in the day, I don't have any meetings. And if I do take a meeting at that time, it's usually like I'll do like a live recording or a workshop, something that I just get recording and things done before I start going in from, like, you know, the lunchtime to, you know, to the afternoon, like the team meetings, like things that I can help advance the team. But really that morning time is just for me to advance the things that I love the most, that connect me the most, that help support my family, and just really get all the real big needle movers out of the way. So that's how I set up those things, and I like the reminders in the morning. But do your thing. All right, cool. We're at 16 minutes. Let's see here. That's what I do. Okay. Nice. Thanks, Kelly, for sharing your experience. That's awesome. Yeah, once you know what you need a reminder on, then you can go to town and get it done. So we had a couple things, right? I showed you how to set reminders on the plan, but there's also a way to do it without even creating a plan. Now, an example of this is you can just go up to the very top left and hit set reminder. Okay. If I hit set reminder, it's going to give me this dialog menu. And if you are still following along, you can kind of see this on your screen. Now, the whole reason why we have this is because a lot of the training and a lot of the support that Brennan has produced and created has been about, you know, setting intention about how you want to interact with other people. How do you want to show up? You know, what are your key words? What are the things that when you see these words, they're going to remind you to raise the bar, get awareness, have a sense of clarity about your identity and what you're doing. And just a big shout out too, if you haven't yet checked out, we have an identity shift challenge that is released inside the challenge. It's a free challenge by Anthony Trucks, one of our, you know, OG Growth Day coaches. He's been here since the beginning of Growth Day, and he's got a 5-day identity shift challenge, and it's pretty epic. It's on day 3 right now, but you can start at any time, and it would just be 5 days from your start time. But check that out. But what I could do here, and I have some examples of some of the ones that I had, and this is one that I have 3 keywords where I wanted to create, I wanted a harmony, and I wanted to model behavior. So these are the 3 words that I had, and what I can do is I can set this up daily, and I can do this at 9 a.m. and I can create this reminder. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me that reminder where I could go in and I can edit this if I wanted to in line. Again, I'm in reminders, and I just set a reminder, but if I wanted to get to this page, say if I'm on a plan, I could come down here in the bottom left, hit reminders, and then I could see that, and I could toggle it off if I don't want it on. Turn it back on, and now I have that. And I could change it right here if I need to. We made it super easy, so you could just go in and change that. So I have my manage reminders, and I can set reminders from that. Has anybody done this yet in the product? Oh, very cool. Nice job, Alita. That's really good idea. Has anybody done this before inside of the set reminders? Have you tried it yet? Awesome. Thanks for trying, Kelly. Awesome. And you can always get back to this, and then we have a completed section plan. So after you complete these things, you can go. Now I'm gonna give you a little other trick in here. Like I've even used plans. I know this is like super personal, but I've even used plans for my coaching clients and other people that I'm managing or mentoring. Managing or mentoring. 2 M's just got me there. You can use this for like if you have a mentorship. This is a mentoring. Let me just make up a name. Kyle. All right, and then I have a weekly with Kyle, and it's every Thursday. And I'm gonna set a reminder weekly because I have a weekly session with Kyle on Wednesdays at say 4 p.m. So even though this isn't like a calendar invite, I can set a plan with Kyle, which is, it's the first one is maybe due September 8th. It's at 4 p.m. I get reminded. I can start getting all the high level actions that I want to coach or mentor Kyle on, and I can just put them here and use this as a little action plan for me and Kyle. So I'd be like, onboarding, first 90 days at your new company. All right, cool. Something I'm going to help him with. Okay, another thing I'm going to help him with is like building more integrated systems and routines inside his organization. Okay. Identifying kryptonite and opportunities in growth. So 3 things that I'm going to talk about Kyle for in this mentoring session. I can have these things ready to go. And then at the end of that, I could even just share those like a screenshot of this with Kyle later. And then I could write down existing notes and I could be able to send those to Kyle later. And if Kyle's in Growth Day, then I could even have like a one-on-one growth group with him, or actually you need at least 3 people to do a growth group. But I could also just bring Kyle in. I could talk to him in the community. So there's like a lot of different ways that you can use your plans, which is super fun. So there's a question here. I'm gonna. So in the new reminders feature, they're all tied up to plans and actions with the plans. There's not an ability to just create a reminder there, right? Yes. So if you just want to create a standalone, we call it standalone reminder, you can go up to the very top of your menu and hit set reminder. This is a standalone reminder because all we're asking you to do is like put in the message that you want to be reminded of. So this would be standalone reminder. So anything you want to be reminded, like it could be live life to the fullest. I mean, it could be anything. But what we've done in the past and what Brennan has coached is like finding those 3 key words is a really good practice. So you can, how do you want to show up? How do you identify? And what does success look like? And, for me, like consistency has been one of those things. So I might be like consistent. Oh, here, I already had an example of that. For me, like if I'm introducing myself in this way, I would be like, I'm a consistent person. I'm very passionate about what I do. And I'm going to bring courageous actions into anything that I work on. So these 3 things are, what I want to do. And here, I'll just do weekly. I'll do it on Fridays. Actually, just do it on Mondays. Monday's a big day. And, I need to choose my time. And that's a standalone reminder. Awesome. She found it. Cool. So we've gone through and we've showed all of these different ways to do this. Okay, great. So we're all caught up there. Different examples. We're good to go. And this is just another way of using plans. So like I talked to you a little bit about when you go into the learn section, you can also be able to continue learning, of course, while you're doing planning. You can also do that same thing when you're like journaling. If you're watching a video and you want to go journal, you could be watching the video while you're in your journal writing. You could be doing a life score while you're watching the video. So I'll just show you that really quick just so you can see how it works. And if I'm playing the video,
it will give you that motivation each day to
and if I go to my journal, it's just going to keep playing in the background here.
It will give you that motivation each day to
and I could, be able to see that. And I can still see what it's doing. If I go to my life scores, it's still going to show up there. It's called a mini player. It's still going to be there. I could go in and I could even score, which I am 2 days past on my scoring. Y'all, I'm going to go get it right now. So I'm feeling a great amount of clarity. My energy is pretty well. I absolutely know what I'm trying to do. My productivity was a little lower this week because we are transitioning to a new place, and we're just really trying to learn this area. So I'm going to say it's a little lower. My influence has been high with my team and what I'm trying to pursue. Courage is high, movement's high, mood is high, and my sleep, actually last night I didn't sleep so well, so I'm going to put a 3. I think there's opportunities for me to sleep better tonight. And my nutrition has been great. So there we go, got my score, and I could still be listening and watching this video while I go, and I could still be going in and experiencing the rest of the app. Now, I told you earlier about the Identity Shift Challenge. So the Identity Shift Challenge right here is active because I've already joined it. And in this scenario, I now have I'm on day 2, and I've already watched the video. Now I have my homework. I actually already did the journal, and I actually shared this with the community. I shared it in the sidebar of my chat. And then tomorrow this will unlock, and then I can do this the next day of the challenge. And you can join this at any time. And we already have 436 people join this week, which is really cool. And this is an evergreen challenge, so you can take it as many times as you want if you're a GrowthDay member. And I think you just might love it if you go through it and give it a shot. Cool. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second and come back to you here. Okay, nice. Awesome. Great, wonderful. So I just know that the plan is such a powerful tool inside of the GrowthDay app. But I also just wanted to make sure that you're aware of like what you can get out of it, how you can use it, and also just how you can set that intention before going into your planning sessions. There's a lot of other different tactics for planning. Like one of the big things that I have, I'm sure you've heard it before. It's called the battle board. Brendan does the battle board, and I have a version of that, and I'll show you. Essentially what I like to do is I'm planning shipping product, I really have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, which are the blocks throughout the year where we're trying to deliver within a quarter, 2-3 months of work. And what I'll end up doing is I'll have M1s through M12, for the months of the year. And then I'll actually know what my top 3 priorities are for the month. And, this is more towards product thinking and what I'm trying to do for the product. I compartmentalize that with my personal things that I'm doing inside of the GrowthDay app, but I still use a lot of my product planning. We have other tools and things that we use, but I still connect these things too. But I don't want to share all, that's just a ton of stuff to share. But I'm going to go through a quick list of 8 things that I want you to think about when you go into plan. And what I'll try to do is I'll post a photo of this inside of the community later so you can see it. But if you somehow don't see it and you want it, I can share it with you later. Okay. So number 1. All right. So when I'm planning out and I'm thinking about my plan, I'm thinking about which systems need my focus. And when I say systems, you have so many systems in your life. You have, your cooking could be a system. How do you cook meals? Pulling things out of the refrigerator, getting your table prepared for what you're going to cook, thinking about what pans you need to cook, thinking about how many plates you're going to need to serve, all the things in preparation, right? That's a system. So when you think about improving your systems for anything that you do, it's just about thinking about it, taking a step back and looking at it from the aerial view and be how can I improve that system? Number 2, what projects that need better flow? What projects in my life need better flow? That could be like, well, I have 4 or 5 projects right now going on for Growth Day. What can I do to set them up for success so there's better flow in between people and between teams and between delivery? Oh, thank you, Maria. You're awesome. All right, so that was number 2, projects that need better flow. Number 3, people that need feedback, direction, or guidance. Who are some people in your life that you need to give feedback, direction, or guidance? Like, just for example, I had to give challenging feedback to one of the coaches this week, and it was just around like, how the players were treating each other, and I noticed it and I saw it, so I wrote the feedback and had to give it. It wasn't an easy thing to give feedback to a young coach in soccer that's trying, is volunteering, doing his best. But the thing is that feedback, if it's not given, then it's just going to continue to happen. So like, what people need feedback, direction, and guidance. Number 4, when I think about planning, what priorities need action right now? Like, maybe something's going really slow in your life and you're like, I need to step this up on this area. What projects need, or what priorities of yours need a little bit of more action? Which priorities need actions? Number 5, what new initiatives do you want to explore and test? And we have 2 minutes left, just a heads up. It's going to shut down here in a second. Which new initiatives do you need to explore and test? Number 6, new connections to be made. Which new connections to be made? You made a connection with me today. You came to this session. Amazing. You also probably got to meet some of the other people in the chat. But I got to say, like, you got to be meeting so many new people this year. Like, who do you want to meet? And how do you want to interact with those people? It's going to be super fun. Number 7, what outcomes do I need to focus on this month? What outcomes do I need to focus on? Well, I want to deliver a playbook. I want to deliver an awesome workshop. I want to deliver, the things that we were talking about earlier for September. I want to elevate, the new starts, the continue, the elevate, and the execute. What things, what new things could I be focused on? And then the number 8 is, what experiences do I wish to create and bring to life? I love uniting people and bringing things to life, but how could I do that with more people? Like all of you, for example, like we're in a growth group. It's so cool. And it's just a great experience. But like thinking about that when you go in and start planning your month, it just brings in so much incredible intention. And I just want to thank you so much for joining today and spending this time with me. And I hope this was valuable. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gives you a little bit more confidence and courage when you step into your planning inside of the GrowthDay app. And if you're curious or you want to see something else in the next week, I'll be back next Friday. I'll be kind of searching for some topics that are really kind of that the community needs. So feel free to DM me and let me know what kind of things that you would like to see in the next growth group. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you next week if you want to join for another growth group. See ya.